try to show you the loading process. I don't know if the camera sit up there good or not, but loading my brother with some straw right now. It's first thing in the morning. He got back at like 3 o'clock this morning. He does all the deliveries at nighttime. So I figured I'd help him out and get the trailer loaded for tonight before I go do my work. side affected this side. Sometimes you just gotta tighten them up a little bit. Look, it's good. It's good on both sides. Straight all the way back. There you go. So she's all done. I'm gonna throw straps over and call it a day. A day here. I gotta go up to the shop and finish my spreader. But 24 bales. So that chicken house is almost empty. I think he said he's got 2 more loads to bring out of it. Plus he's got 2 or 3 loads sitting out here ready to go. And then we will be getting into this one. There's probably 20 loads in this house too. All right, good morning. I'm up at the shop now. Just got done loading my brother. So I'm gonna work on the spreader. I'll show you what I'm doing. And I'll show you how these wheels turned out. And I guess I cleaned the cab windows. I don't know if I waxed it. I don't think that I waxed it, but I'm gonna wax it because I knew I had to bring it back in here. So I'm gonna put another coat on. I can't remember waxing it. I don't think that I did. So, but it's gonna get another coat if it did. I'm gonna go ahead and do it today. But the wheels turned out really nice. Looks really good, especially when you shoot them with a air gun. Frames all, like I showed you before, the frame's painted. Looks damn good. The underneath of it looks good. Now remember the one I showed you at Deer, how bad it was, all rusted, corroded. This is what you gotta do. You gotta keep it clean and you gotta keep it painted. As you can see, there's a little bit of rust here and there, but for a fertilizer spreader, you gotta keep it clean, especially that hole right there. Keep everything wrapped. I keep everything wrapped in that wax tape, all the fittings, pretty much everywhere. This block right here that everything goes into, you got to keep that clean. That block right there is $7,000 for just this little hydraulic block that everything goes in. And every one you look at is totally rusted. Nobody ever keeps theirs clean. And this is like the main functioner on your spreader. So, as you can see, she's clean, painted, most part. I try to do the best I can with her. She was used when I got her. If I could afford a new one, which is $700,000, which I can't, you can never afford to pay for it. But I got to change this filter that goes into that block. I didn't have one, and Greg got me one, so I'm going to change that hydraulic filter. But that block is really important, and it's not very thick. It's only about 5 inches thick, but that's like the main housing. Got to keep it going. Got to keep your hoses good. So, yeah. Like I said, I did get my motors painted and coated yesterday. Just helps them a little bit, so they don't just rust completely. But the frame's painted. Every year I'm gonna have to do this. You gotta keep this hole right here clean, best you can. So I try to do the best I can with it. So I didn't wax it, so I did put a coat of wax on, but right now I'm checking my box. This right here is the thing you bolt on when you jack her up, change tires, keep that in there. I keep a wrench in here for my belt, just in case I gotta tighten it. Tape measure for my door. Keep a scale in here for product. That way I can weigh, make sure everything's right. I do keep, here's my blower. I got the battery charging. There's another end that goes to it that I blow it off after everything. I do keep a great big long chain in here, like a real big heavy duty chain, because just in case I get stuck, I always got something to pull. Somebody can pull on me with a tractor. Or if one of the trucks gets stuck, sometimes the trucks can come in, they turn in, there's a little hump on the driveway, and you know, if they're going really slow, they can get stuck. So I can just back up to them and just give them that little nudge to get them, you know, the tire just spinning, where one of the axles comes off the ground. Just, everybody's done it, stuff isn't level. Just pull on them just enough to get them over that little hump. That way we don't have to call a $3,000 wrecker bill to do that. So I just keep it in there just for that. Pick up, you know, somebody comes back, come out into a field, which these things might work fine. Pickup might go into a little rut. You just need to move them just an inch to get them going. So not that I've ever used it, but I keep it in there just because. And she's got the hooks on her, where big hooks where you can hook them up, just pull somebody real easy if they need it, or somebody needs to just give me a little pull. Like when I got the sprayer stuck this past year, you know, we brought the big articulated over there, and even though this, if you look back on the other videos, even though the sprayer looked like it was really stuck, really you just got to get them, popped out of that little hole, and then they just go on. It's just when they get in that little hole, you just pull them enough to get them to get up out of it. So of course she's never been stuck. I'll say this thing has got some power, and these tires are bigger than your main sprayer tires. They're like 380s. These right here are 420s. Yeah, 420s by 95 50s. The other ones are like 380 by 70 by 38 or something. So even though I got a brand new set of floaters in the back that you can take off and bolt on, I don't ever use them, because these tires right here, I mean, these tires right here are huge, and they're fat. They're big fat tires already. Even though they're row crop tires, they're still big tires. And I've never had a problem with her. I've never even had a problem with her going down a little bit. I might have cut barely a little rut one time when you're very full loaded, but most time if it's wet, I don't go in there. But if I know that the farmer wants it done, he said, look, just go get it done, I know it's a little wet, but get it done, I won't put as much on the box if I know a certain field is going to be wet, or if a certain side of the field is wet and I load my box full, I'll start on the opposite side. So by the time I get to the side where there might be a little questionable spot, I'm late already. And most times she just rolls right through it. So, and they got a buku of power, these things. I mean, instead of really pushing your controller forward now, you got a little roll knob on the back of your controller, which really sets your speed. So I might set it, normally I'm at 15 when I'm spreading. I might set it to 17, but just keep it at 15. That way if I ever do get in a tough spot, I got a little bit of extra to get out of it. But really, I've never had that, so I don't really worry about it. I mean, I'm not gonna, you know, and I'll tell, you know, farmer, like, hey, it's a little wet. Do you really want me to mess your stuff up? Most, you know, if it's before planting and they're gonna work it anyway, then they'll be like, yay. But I'll never go in a field that is like when I'm doing standing corn. If it's a little wet, there's, you know, unless they tell me to do it, don't worry about it. But 9 times out of 10, I would never do that. Anyway, so I'm gonna change these filters. I just got done touching up like this rail right here. I didn't shoot that with the spray gun when I did the frame. It's just would have too much, so I got the little spray bomb and just hit little spots like the little mirror bracket. That one right there, I hit that. Hit the back of this. Just little stuff that I didn't want to have the big air gun doing. I did put a coat of wax on it. So now I'm going to go under and change that hydraulic filter. And then there's another one up under here. It's like a canister filter that I got to change. So check that out. See how that all works. But they're the ones I got to do anyway.